to me, you see, my passion on this is not just another cute drasha or concept. This is it. This is the drasha. And I can feel myself tear up as I say it to you. Because I know the truth of it. I've watched too many homes and families, and I've watched those who did this, who worked this system. And they see the results. I saw it with my children. The Rosh Hashanah mitzvahs, despite what they went through. I can tell you it works. And I believe this is our job. This is our God-given job. So everyone write this down. 4 words, and then I'm going to explain them in detail. They are the 4 S's. They are safe, secure, seen, and soothed. S-O-O-T-H-E-D. Soothed. Safe, secure, seen, and soothed. Seen. S-E-E-N. The 4 S's. You remember, first of all, I'm going to chazal this again and again as we go forward. They are the 4 S's of attachment. To create healthy attachments, we need to work on the 4 S's. To repair damaged attachments, we need to work on the 4 S's. And I will explain them. They're not complicated. Safe. Let's start with safe. A child has a right to grow up in a home where they feel safe. In generic, general concepts and terms, safety means things like, I'm not going to be hurt or abused. At night time, the windows and doors will be locked. I'll be safe from people intruding and hurting me. I'll be safe from siblings hurting me unnecessarily, in a traumatic way. I'll be safe from parents venting their own unresolved issues that they should have been in therapy dealing with. These are entitlements of children. When we think of trauma and traumatic events, most people think immediately the concept and notion of trauma. We think of concepts like sexual abuse, an event. We think of notions like a car crash where someone died. They were traumatized. They had a traumatic experience. When we think of trauma, most of us think of it as an event. And we have a very, very, very hard time relating to trauma other than it being an event. Many, many, many years ago, I found a piece of research which tragically I lost, and I can't find it again. It was a piece of university research that I utilized to describe what I called learning trauma. Learning trauma that occurs to kids who have genuine learning disabilities, who are then, bal korcha, put into an environment, a school system, that demands of them academic excellence if you are to be appreciated and worthy in this world. The experience this group of researchers had happened to have been with a Catholic school system that had also studied some of their systems that had very little other than academia. They didn't have drama and sports and other things. They just had academia. And they studied the brains of kids who had diagnosed learning disabilities over their school years. And they studied their brains when they finished high school. And they found out with MRIs that the brain lit up the exact same as it did for a rape victim or for someone who was in a severe car crash where someone died, they had the exact same trauma impact on their brain. And to me that was pashut. That a kid who has a severe learning disability and then goes through a system that essentially tells him, you are only worthy, you're only the apple of my eye, you're only the cat's whiskers. If you study well, you learn and you're gewaldig. If you're, by the way, these words, as you know, I feel should be banished permanently, but you really banished. And I say it within that framework. But you're only really successful if you're a big balkishan, if you're a mitsuyan in learning. Then you're someone. Then you're someone. This creates trauma, and there's a whole different type of trauma that has nothing to do with an event. And what we refer to, or I referred to this for years, as developmental or relational trauma. Developmental trauma. Now, developmental trauma has 5 different aspects to it. 5. They're all forms of abuse. The children experience abuse that deprives them of the safety, the feeling of being safe in this world. They do not feel safe. And without safety, you cannot have good attachments. And these 5 types of trauma are as follows. You could list them. They are physical trauma, or physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. If you look in the books in the secular world, they call that intellectual abuse. I call it psychological abuse. Sexual abuse and spiritual abuse. All 5 of those forms, 5, physical, emotional, psychological, sexual, and spiritual. Physical abuse is obvious, where a child grows up in a home where there's physical abuse. You know, one wise person, I'm not sure who said it, but I heard it said over, I think it was so precise, who said that yesterday's discipline is today's abuse. And it's such a great line. I'm not sure it's totally accurate, but it's a great line. I grew up in a world where we got caned. The cane stood behind the urinal, the toilet. If we did something really wrong, then my father, Lashom, sent us for the cane, and you had to come and present the cane to my father, where he was standing. You were then banished to the bedroom, where you had to be mischaret on the chet, and I imagine he knew, put on 5 more pairs of underpants, to protect yourself. And then he came in and sat with us, calmly. About 20 minutes later, what did you do? What was wrong about it? Did you commit yourself not to do it again? Bend over, and you got caned 3 times, and that was the end of it. Do that today, you'll probably go to jail. You'll probably go to jail. Physical abuse, the world changed. Most of us grew up in a world where Tzvei Pech answered most problems in life. You don't need therapy. Tzvei Pech and you're done. I grew up in a world where the threat of Tzvei Pech worked. My father gave us a look. If we didn't chant, please, mummy, darling, may I leave the table? And we got off a chair. He looked at us, and that was it. We grew up in a world where all that was okay. And today's world, that's abusive. And the real abuse of it is not the event itself, it's the deprivation of safety from a child. It makes a child not feel safe. And if they don't feel safe, you undermine their attachments. And if you undermine their attachments, you deprive them of resilience for life's problems and struggles and issues. Do you see it? So it's irrelevant whether I have a lumdus or not, whether they should feel that way. No one cares about my lumdus. The world changed, Rabbi say. Physical abuse, it's over. You can't hit your kids anymore. You can give an insult punch to a little kid that walks in the street, and you go like that to insult it. And you should, it's a mitzvah to do it. But that's about it. So most of us have learned that lesson. What about emotional abuse? And the connection between emotional abuse and not feeling safe, and therefore not being resilient. Emotional abuse. Imagine the look on the face, the look on your face of disappointment in your child's behavior. That's emotional abuse, Rabbi say. See, once upon a time, we had one look from my father, we shaped up. We shaped up. He just gave us one threatening look, and that was it. One disappointed look from my mother, and we all scampered and washed the dishes and realized we were wrong. In this world, that look of disappointment confirms the depths of their neshamas that I am a useless person, and it is therefore abusive, and it undermines feeling safe. A child has a right to come home to smiling parents. A child should never ever walk into a home without being greeted by a smile. And if you're too busy cooking or too busy on the computer, you turn to your child first, give them a smile, apologize, tell them, I'll be right with you, Shefala, in 1 second, I just need to finish this. Here, stand right here, wait one moment. Do you understand? It's emotional abuse, Rabbi say. To deprive, once upon a time, the deprivation of love from a child, depriving a child with love, motivated them to want to get that love back, and it would motivate their behavior. Today it motivates a little boy to go and find a little girlfriend. It doesn't motivate them at all in a positive way. It undermines their attachments. It undermines their ability to feel safe, to feel protected. They need our love and our kindness. That doesn't mean being weak and giving in on everything. I can say to my child, Shefala, I am so sorry. It's bedtime. I really feel sad for you. I do. Oh, but it doesn't change the fact it's bedtime. I'm so sorry. And they say, yeah, but I wanted everything like this and I didn't. And you say, yes, I know. I really know you want another drink just to play the Lego a little longer, to do this and just finish that. I get it. And I feel so sad it's bedtime. But it is bedtime. As opposed to what most of us grew up with, Svei Patch, that solves bedtime. This world, they need healthy attachments. And those healthy attachments can only come in a way that we make them feel safe. It's emotional abuse to do that. It's emotional abuse for us to constantly be looking sad around our kids. It's actually emotional abuse to be saying Tehillim and crying your head off sadly about your child every Friday, standing there weeping away, where you have to light early so you can redo your makeup because you know exactly what's going to happen. And you do that with your kids' knowledge is emotional abuse. Then there's psychological abuse. That's even worse. You think you're ever going to make a good father the way you behave? You think you're going to be a good mother? Let me tell you a few things. You need to really shape up. You're never going to make a good mother the way you are. No one's ever going to marry you like this. Number one, there's kfirah. It's actually not true. Unless you're God, because God's in charge of shidduchim. She may not marry the person your ego needs her to marry. That may be true. But chances are she'll get married. So it's a lie. It's psychological abuse. Adarabba, you will get married one day. And Mitzvah Hashem, someone somewhere is going to see the beauty in you. Even if you're going through a hard time now that many people can't. I absolutely guarantee you, one day, someone will look in your eyes and they will see your inner beauty and they're going to want you. Don't worry about it. And everything other than that is psychological abuse. It's psychological abuse to tell a kid you're never going to count to anything. Look, I mean, let's face it, unless you shape up, you're never going to be successful. How are you going to make parnasa? How are you going to do anything? You're just a loser. Like, come on, you're going to lie in bed all day. That's going to make you successful. It's psychological abuse. You're meant to say, you can lie in bed as long as you want. One day you're going to get out of bed, turn on your engines and be successful. I know you. You're an amazing human being inside. And you have a tekufa to go through that's hard for you. And one day you'll get through that tekufa. And you will be amazingly successful. Meanwhile, schlaf good, Shefela. Schlaf good. All these five undermine, take from us the ability to make our children feel safe. That's just one of the four components. They deprive them from safety, and safety deprives them from attachment. Any one of them undermines healthy attachment. And healthy attachment takes from a child the ability to be resilient. In which case we're setting them up to fail. That's safe. Secure. Child is entitled to feel secure. Security means they have knowledge and awareness that life has a certain expected hamshacha. Life is going to happen in a certain way. I feel secure that the Shabbos table is a secure place to be, where I'm not going to be humiliated because I didn't learn my Parsha sheet. Or I'm not going to be embarrassed because someone asked me to say Advat Torah and I have no clue which Parsha it is this week. I feel secure that my parents are not picking on each other, sniping at each other, biting each other. I feel secure that my parents are married and they stay married and they care for each other. I feel secure in the knowledge that despite the fact, as a child in crisis, that I drive my parents meshuga, which I know I do, despite that, I can rely on my parents to be mechazik each other, to love each other, to help each other. And I feel secure, and I feel secure in this environment. I feel secure that When you go to camp is going to happen. There's not going to be long drushes of pain about no one's going to take you. What camp can't even apply to? Anyway, we can't afford it. I feel secure knowing that if I need extra tutoring and mentors and who knows what else and a guitar, I feel secure in the knowledge that my parents will do anything to get me what I need. They do not look at me as a burden or as an obligation, but as a gift to their life. I feel secure that I am a gift to them. I feel secure in their relationship. I feel secure in the way they deal with me and my siblings. I feel secure that the environment is a loving and warm one, that my parents create that environment for us. I feel secure walking in the house. Security is a crucial aspect of having good attachments. I feel secure that my parents will not go through my belongings and then find something which they have no clue how to handle and freak out because they shouldn't have found it in the first place, because they've no clue what to do with the information. So don't find it if you don't know what to do with it. I feel secure that my parents have faith in me, that this is a tekufa. That when I get to being 30, I'm not going to have 3 earrings dangling and 2 bars here and half a cut here and a mohawk green over there. That my parents, I'm secure in the knowledge that we all know I'm going to get through this. What, are they idiots? Don't they chap? I mean, how many 30-year-olds do you see walking around like 15-year-olds in Borough Park? Right? With all those earrings and the mohawk. It goes, Rabbi say, it goes. They need your security in yourself. That this will all pass, given time, and given love, and given caring. It creates security in them, and the confidence that there's a future. And security contributes to good attachments. And good attachments contributes to resilience. We're getting it? Great. They need to feel secure that tuition will be paid. They need to be secure that you will find, I don't care how many yeshivas you get thrown out of, there are more. We will find them. They need that security that we don't give up on our kids. We act. We do. And when they feel secure, they have good attachments. When they have good attachments, they're resilient. Our kids need to be seen. Safe, secure, seen. They need to be seen. That means every single child we have to realize is unique. You know, we're so foolish. We're so out to lunch. We have these kids and we actually think, they're going to be in our image. We think that little boy is the next Briskerov or the next Rebbe. And then we had that little girl is Sarah Schneer. We got her neshama. We were Zeicha. We live in La La Land. These neshamas come back and they need to be seen for who they are. Chanoich lena al pi darka. Every good drasha, someone has to say this very loud as if it means something. No one has a clue how to do it. No one even knows what darko is. No 2 parents agree on the darko exactly of their children. So exactly how are you doing this at your Shabbos table with 8 kids? And yet somehow if you say it loud enough in a drasha, and you say it with a heavy Yiddish accent, it means something. But there's some emes in it. Listen to the emes. We have to pull out. We have to help emerge. It's the difference between being a mechanech and a melamed. A melamed installs. A Melamed puts information into, he's Melamed, he puts information into a child that the child didn't have. He uses skills to get the information into the brain of the child. A Mechanech, Chinuch, is like a Chanukas Abayis. Chanukas Abayis is where you proclaim the potential of this shtub to do chesed, to bring up a family, to do simchas. It's a proclamation of potential. It's a Chanukas Abayis. Chinuch is about looking at the potential, extracting from a child, and then showing that child, this, Shefela, is your potential. This is who you are. It's nothing to do with me, it's about you. That's Hanich Lenapit Darkoin. It can only be Al Darkoin. And if you do Al Pidarko properly, then a child grows up with healthy attachments, and they become resilient, and then they can do Ma'chovas Adam Ba'olamo, the same Vav, Mesilas Yesharim Ba'olamai, his world. He finds his place in this complicated world Hashem gave us, because we made our child feel seen. They're not just the kids. Let's get the kids in the car. Let's get the kids in the bath. Let's get the kids to school. Let's get the kids. Let's just get the kids. Where are the kids? Where's the kids? Get it. It's like one blob called the kids. Let's get the kids. Kids. It's the kids. No such thing. It's ridiculous. You bench your kid Friday night, starting with the most struggling to the least, and you give them, you whisper in their ear something unique and special about their potential, about your greatness. If your child does something unique and special, you reflect it back to them. You show them who they are. You help them see themselves. You help them see their uniqueness. They have to be seen. They have to recognize that you recognize their God-given uniqueness. And everyone is different. No one's the same. There is no two people the same on earth. We all have different potential. And it's all God-given. And it's all gewaldig. And chinuch is that job of bringing it out. Is hotzor, it's being moitzi the potential and showing it to them. And we have to exploit every opportunity to see their strengths, see what's special about them. Show them they're godless. Show them their greatness. Show them their uniqueness. Just show it to them. Don't make it into a Musa drosha, and therefore you need to be and you should dress right, because just show them what's special. Celebrate the unique, special nature of your child. Help them feel seen by you. See their struggles. See their pain. Don't tell them to get over it. How long is this going to last? I see you, and I see your pain, and I can be with your pain. I can be with you. I can do it. I see it, and I accept it. If we can make our children feel seen and safe, if we can make them secure so that we develop their attachments with us, develop good attachments. Resilience. We help them be resilient. And then they go through life that Hashem gave us, the Olam Atzlos, growing from all those struggles. And the last one is soothed. Safe, secure, seen, and soothed. Child gets bullied at school. They have a right and expectation for their parent to hold them and soothe them. They fall off a little tricycle when they're a kid. They do not deserve to be yelled at. Who left the tricycle out? Why did you ride it? Who let her ride? I don't get it. What are you, crazy? You scoop them up and you soothe them. And when they first work out that the way you stop a bicycle is by driving into a wall before they realize there are brakes, you don't yell at them about the broken wheel, you soothe them and gently teach them about brakes. Honey, there's brakes, they work. You soothe them through their life struggles. You soothe them when they're in pain, even if you're convinced they caused that pain to themselves. You brought this onto yourself. You see the way you dress? That boy took advantage of you because of the way you dress. That's what goes. Let's blame the victim. They have to be soothed. It doesn't matter what they went through. And they will go through their traumas and crises and problems and struggles and issues and difficulties. They will have the occasional too strong, too principled mechanech who makes them feel like 2 cents, or teacher who just throws them out too often. They'll have friends in the neighborhood who hurt them. Things will happen to our children, and it's so easy for us to jump up and just blame them. Well, if you hadn't done this, then that would have happened. You brought this on yourself. Didn't I tell you? How many times did I tell you? So you got thrown out of school. What do you expect? You wore those shoes. Didn't we say you shouldn't wear those shoes? First you have to soothe them. They have to be fully aware that the first thing we do as a parent is we soothe their pain. You know what happens when you soothe their pain? Anyone done a course on active listening? Yeah, you know exactly what happens the moment you do it. You do it and they look at you and say, I feel so stupid, I shouldn't have worn those shoes, I'm such an idiot. And you never have to say anything, you just soothe them, just hold them. And you say, yeah, I feel terrible for you. It must have been so hard for you and you really wanted to wear those shoes. Yes, but I was such an idiot, I shouldn't have worn those stupid shoes. They need your soothing. And guess what happens when you soothe the child properly? It all emerges out of them. All those cruel, rotten, horrible things that you have the Yitzhar to say to them to make them feel it was all their responsibility. And they brought all this on themselves. When you soothe them properly, and when they're brought up in an environment of safe, secure, seen, and then soothed, they tell it to you. They can take responsibility. And we don't have to sit there pulling out our hair if you've got any left. They don't have to worry about that. Because they own it. Because they're safe to own their stuff. Because they're attached to you. You attach them. They feel connected. They're not afraid of rejection. So then and only then they can own their stuff. The wheels go crazy. Why can't they just admit it was her fault and she did this and he initiated that? Can't they admit they did it? They did it. I don't get it. Like, why is it always about me? Why can't it be about them? They did it. I didn't do it. We have this huge Yitzhar just to lace it into them. But when you do safe, secure, seen and soothed, you've created attachments that creates resilience, and they own it. And they start crying, and they look at you and say, I feel like such an idiot, Tati. I feel like such a fool, Mommy. I shouldn't have done this. You told me not to. And I need help. I need to get to a therapist. I got to do something. As opposed to, I'm not going to any stupid therapist. Well, you need a therapist. You need 5 therapists. I don't know if any therapist can help you. You're crazy. You people are crazy. It's true. But when you do safe, secure, seen and soothed, and you create those healthy attachments, they turn to you and say, Mommy, Tati, I need help. I need help. Something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. And you say, I don't know, Shafi, you look fantastic to me. You look amazing. I mean, first of all, just the fact that you could be aware and be insightful enough to say what you just said, it makes you unique. You're so special. You're so incredible. I'm not sure you need a therapist. They say, no, I really do. I'm telling you, I need help. I don't know. Really, you think so? I say, yeah, please, can I go? All right, fine. Let me see if I can find a good therapist. As opposed to what most of us are doing, dragging her with her heels, making 2 grooves in the ground as we're dragging her through, and that's going to be a real productive session. Rabbi say it's safe, secure, seen and soothed. The underpinning of the sugi, I told you, if there's anything I can share with you that I think is helpful for all our kids, this is not just about the kids, about the struggling children. This is all of them. This is the recovery. This is survival of survival. This is the recovery, I think, from the Holocaust. This is God's mission. This is why He put us here. This is why He gave us these neshamas. And I believe, again, I can't prove this, but I think I'll be sparring Pasha common sense. If we were able, together, to create in these kids a sense of attachment to us, the safe, secure, seen and soothed, the ability to be resilient, to cope with life's struggles, adarabah, to grow from life's struggles, to rise up on the back of life's struggles, to see them as opportunities, not as interferences, to see this whole world as the home gym, where, the more resistance, the better. You don't grow. No pain, no gain. Where they see all of our life as this magnificent spiritual home gym, where I'm going to have all this resistance trying to knock me off, but I'm going to exploit the resistance that Eibishter puts in this world to make me spiritually stronger. If we have the schus as parents to do that, if we can harness our own kaiches, our own love, our own savlanut, our own patience, if we can harness ourselves to bring this to our children, we have created the metaphor that Hashem gave us children for, that they can then transfer those good attachments to Rabbi Shimon. This is our tachlis as parents. This is why Hashem gave us children. And we're meant to create it. We're given the gift of this work. So we should all have the schusim. We should find the love in ourselves. We should definitely find the patience and the wisdom. We should work on ourselves first, so we have the kaiches to bring these healthy attachments to our children. And by doing so, I hope and pray we will bring them all to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and all to their own shleimus. Thank you very much.